Chaos.
Ahoy hoy, and welcome to Players
Tia
in
heard
Book.
me.
I did too, but I was focused on doing the thing. Um, I'm gonna throw it straight to Lauren, who is taking a drink, but
Mm-hmm.
straight to Lauren, and yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Um, I'm talking about the Idle Champions code today for those of you who are going to be coming on by because you got a little alert in your game to, hey, check us out. We have an Idle Champions Electrum chest code for you. Just put exclamation mark code into the chat so that you can grab it from there. Or if you look over there, I will do my best to say it as the somatic and verbal components that it is, Ms. Frapgram. Just put Ms. Frapgram into your game, and you will get a free Electrum chest, courtesy of Players in Book. And I'm supposed to say who I am. Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. You can find all the stuff I'm doing at lauren-urban.com. And today I'm playing Fairlos, the Tabaxi cleric who has to go fix the thing she might have broke a couple of weeks ago. We'll see how that works.
We'll see how it works. It might happen. Hello, I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on the interwebs as at DreamWisp, streaming on Twitch eventually at some point again as DreamWisp Jen. I helped make this thing. I was a consultant on the new Dungeon Master's Guide. It's very cool. We're very proud of it. Please check it out. And today I will be playing Rivulet, your friendly neighborhood tsunami druid, who is here to cause chaos.
Chaos?
You did it again.
Chaos.
That's what I said. That was why Lutia was laughing. 'Cause I said it right as we started.
Chaos.
I was too busy
Chaos.
doing production things and I missed that the first time and
No, it was a terrible, terrible portmanteau.
I heard it and was like, nope, I gotta focus.
I am here, and whenever I have the opportunity, I will make terrible portmanteaus.
it
You're
They're
works.
not
welcome,
terrible.
Internet.
They are the best. It's my turn. Hi, everybody. I'm Latia Jaquise. My voice is very low from sleeping. I like this. How do I make it stay? And you can find everything that I'm doing on my website, latiajaquise.com, or on Blue Sky, because I'm there now. If you're trying to follow me on anywhere else, it's probably not going to happen. I'm only in the skies of blue right now. But even so, right now, what if I wasn't playing Essequa? Like, what if I had just decided that I wasn't going to play Essequa? I wouldn't do that. I love Essequa so much. And that's who I'm playing. Essequa Havenwright, everyone's favorite dragonborn blade singing wizard. And please excuse me because I have chicken tenders because I've been asleep for the last 2.5 hours and I haven't eaten.
Eat
So-
your tenders.
I'm gonna eat my tenders. I just want to let anybody know who might have food aversions that I will be consuming meat as carefully as possible on camera.
I do have to ask though, do you have any sauce to go with it or are they just like the really good?
Just Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce.
Oh,
Very nice. Sweet baby rays is always good.
so good.
We are going to be short Katie tonight. Just send her your love, and right. Oh, content warning, there may be, I can't tell for sure what these players are going to do, but there may be marionettes and mimes in this episode. So if that's a trigger for you, just keep that in mind. And I'm going to go through the credits real quick. Cartography by Cze and Peku. Cartography by Cze and Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. Character tokens by Greek46. Custom tokens by Cze and Peku Tokens. Overlays by Brian Podell of Exploding Dice. And custom world map by Frecklesketches. Special thanks to our moderators Billith and Strike Redkite. I am Jeremiah Cimmerian. You can find me on the socials and YouTube at DCimmerian. All one word. And I think that's a little bit of everything. So let's go ahead and get into the session summary for the last episode. Just to be clear, this one is episode 14. Let's go over the summary for the last episode, which was called Frogs Without Hats.
A tragedy.
It's now and never, a reverie endeavor awaits somnambulant directives to take the helm. Dream Sweet in C Major by Miracle Musical. The second-hand souls find themselves in a music box at the bottom of the ocean. After examining a skeleton near the entrance, they move on towards the ballerina near the center of the box. The dancer is caught up in something the souls can't see, so they begin to discuss the situation with her. She speaks in confusing riddles, but does let them know that Charles Moriarty, the person she'd ordered kidnapped, is downstairs with her patron. The souls come to the conclusion, from seeing a familiar but ghostly frogman, and from context, that this may be Lenore, a warforged who was once employed at the reactor they saved. The souls sorry. The souls decide to go around her and then swim downstairs. Once the souls are downstairs, the scholar catches the slightest glimpse of Charles as he jumps into a hole in the ground. A magical attempt is made to keep him from jumping, but Charles counterspells it. The souls encounter Oberon, the strange but oddly friendly ruler of the Feywild beneath, and king of the oceanic Unseelie court. They learn about agreements with the old Kasari Empire. They also learn that Oberon is a replacement king for an older, trickier king, much like how the Kasari captured and replaced their gods. The conversation is mostly calm until Hamlet is brought up. Oberon becomes certain that Hamlet didn't exist at least a week ago, and now it does, and is bothered that he has memories of two separate realities. Oberon tells the souls that Charles is safe and sound and back aboard their ship. They confirm this with ascending. Oberon asks them to help fix Lenore's mental state, if they can, and then dives back into the Feywild. It is 3:13 on Wrath's Day, the 19th of Dreams. The sun is still up and will be for quite some time, though no one can see it down here. And the dead runner stands up and begins to run again. So you guys are on the map looking at the dead unicorn, because as Oberon crosses his arms and falls back into the hole, he just kind of dissolves.
I'm now thinking of this like O in Cirque du Soleil.
Ooh.
Like with the pool and the dive.
Yeah.
Why is that now
And-
the Feywild?
I mean, all of Cirque du Soleil is kind of the Feywild.
Is the
You're
Feywild?
basically
Yeah.
kind of going to the Feywild when
Yeah.
you go see a Cirque du Soleil show.
Yeah, it's true.
And the unicorn at the bottom, the blood that's coming out of its mouth all comes back into the body. And then it stands up and runs off. And when I say runs off, I mean, you can see that this is a small platform. When it gets off of the platform, it keeps running like there's solid ground beneath it and then goes out of your vision.
Welp. Of all the
Well-
things that have
Oh, well,
happened
he
over...
said he was the unicorn, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
It-
I don't think he said that. A history check revealed to us that he was called the
Yes.
Dead Runner, and so we made
Right.
that connection.
Yeah. Of all the things I've seen in the last couple of hours, for some reason, that's the thing that bothers me the most. Is that weird?
I think it's the way that the blood just kind of went back in. Like, it shouldn't have done that. It should have just, I don't know what it should have done, but that was probably the most unsettling thing, that it just kind of like reversed the process.
but fluid can move in any direction.
Oh, I agree. That's just unsettling.
Fair.
Yeah, like, I mean, I have no other explanation for it.
Well, I don't have an explanation for it either, and so I'm going to move along to now the pressing matter of going upstairs and fixing the dancer.
Fixing Lenore. Mm-hmm.
I am not going to apologize for what I said before we left, but I now regret it. How's that?
I can accept that.
Good.
Well, let's go upstairs, I suppose.
All right, let's move you guys to upstairs. As you guys arrive, or I should say, as you guys swim upwards, up the staircase, you start to realize as you get a little closer to the very tippy top, there is no longer water. And in fact, it's dry about, I'd say, 10 to 12 steps down from the top of the staircase.
Interesting.
There's a couple of heavy as I'm just soaked and in fairly heavy armor, stop for a second. I'm like, how? What do you think are the odds that as soon as we leave this building, it's going to be wet outside again?
We're still underwater, so I'm gonna consider that a possibility.
And I will not shake myself off then because it will be a waste of time.
And Riv, as she climbs out of the water, her fins turn back into legs, splash. Riv has splash rules, basically. But it's a little bit more controlled. She can control it. It's not an inadvertent sidewalk splash at this moment.
And I think Essequa kind of did a sort of accidental mini Free Willy, where she wasn't expecting the water to end, so she does kind of just like arc out and maybe land maybe like 5 feet ahead of where the water is. Like, was not expecting dryness. Okay, that's fine.
That was incredibly graceful.
You know what? You gotta be prepared.
I'll take note of that.
Now that we are
Okay.
upstairs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, can you imagine a rivulet if you like dive out and then you unmermaid, you unfin, and then
I get to be Simone Biles mid flip and land with legs.
absolutely.
Yes,
That's amazing.
yes, please,
Yes.
please, and thank you.
That's a dream right there. As we climb the stairs and reach the top, what's the state of the dancer and her zombie court now that it's dry?
Okay, let's move you guys to that map real quick.
Oh, it's Richard. You actually have a dry version of this map.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Amazing.
It's so pretty.
She
Huh.
is currently lying in pieces on the ground, surrounded by her zombie attendants and Richard, the one that escorted you guys down here in the first place.
Right. Is anything different besides the water level? Anything different about the temple? Or the
No,
music
it,
box
it
or the
seems very similar to the way it was before you guys left, except the water is gone. And it's darker, obviously.
Is there a way to tell if the water drained or if we have floated upward?
Ooh, good question.
Um,
Rivulet looking at things from a philosophical long distance perspective.
that's a physics thing, Is there a way to know? Um,
Probably
I mean,
buoyancy.
I would
It's,
say there's pressure
yeah.
yeah,
would
I'd
be
say I'd say mm, from the inside, I think it would be very difficult to tell in this magical space.
okay.
Can
Was
I assess the scene before us? Is she in pieces because she has literally collapsed, or is she in pieces because the people surrounding her uh her into pieces?
oof.
The people surrounding her currently look quite concerned, which is an achievement for the zombies. Um,
Um, what if I have somebody go take a look for us?
that is absolutely a viable option, yes.
But before you
Okay.
do, I have one quick question because Lauren can't remember. That shadow on the ground, was that there before?
That was there before.
Was
yes.
it?
Okay.
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 I know we saw the dragon head in the
Hold on,
floor.
I can show you.
I trust
okay.
you. I just could not remember.
It is there.
It
It's
is there.
there.
It's
It's a lot
much.
harder to see.
It's a lot harder to see with the water. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because I noticed it too, and I wasn't gonna mention it
Oh!
until maybe this had been resolved. But
No, that was the first thing I saw in the first.
We
That's,
look up, Black Dragon has us in the claws, and we're going on an adventure.
I mean, kinda. That's what I thought might be going on for a
Yeah.
second. Not gonna lie. I'm sorry. You were about to probably have fun with Stonky.
I was gonna, well, no, I was actually gonna not necessarily grab Snonky. I was thinking maybe I get one of my amphibious summons out there instead,
ooh.
because that they could go further than Snonky, who I mean, let's see, how far away? Because Snarky has to be summoned within a range of me, but I think maybe closer than my friends. Um,
Can
Let me just
I
double
do
check.
something while you're working on that,
Yes,
Jen?
please
Yes.
do.
Okay, thank you. I would love to because when we first got here, I made an Arcana check to kind of see the what the magical, landscape of this place was. Could I make another one to see if that has changed?
Ooh.
Um, that's a very broad question. You can absolutely make that check, but specifically, what are you looking for?
Um, I'm not sure just because you when I made the Arcana check last time, you I think the the answer that I got was something along the lines of it was Lenore's magic that was kind of
Right.
like
Yes.
making this place. Is her magic still as prevalent as it was before? That's what I'm looking for.
Make an Arcana check. The DC for this is extremely low. We'll call it
Cool.
a 12. Well, that's an extremely low, but low.
And I get a 16.
Hey.
Nice.
Nice.
Um, so before you understood that this place was being sort of maintained and by her magical abilities, with her effectively unconscious, that magic is beginning to unravel.
Okay. Um, do I sense a need for do I sense an urgent need to fix this, or is it
I don't
kind
think it's
of
urgent. It's
like is
uh
are we 3 layers deep in the dream and the kick has happened and Edith
player
Piaf is about to start to play?
you as a player can interpret this through your character. You know how sometimes sorry. You know how dragon layers have effects sometimes, and then when the dragon goes away, it takes a little while for them to fade to those effects to fade.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening here, but with her.
Got it.
Was she the
God.
dragon though, or was Oberon the dragon?
Now,
I think
for
Or
this
she's
was
space, this
for
space, her.
Okay.
You
yeah.
you picked that up from your Arcana check
Yeah,
just now.
she was the dragon in that instance.
Okay.
Um okay, so I say to you all while Riv is figuring out what she's gonna do, but I say to you all, I'm getting the sense that the longer she remains in this state, the more this place will collapse is not the right word I'm looking for, and it's not at all like the what is happening here, but I can feel the effects of her magic fading on this place, and I don't know what effect that is going to have in the long term. So if we can figure out exactly what's going on and maybe make that better for her and for the zombies who I'm going to be real, their facial structure is not the best, but I can see concern in those wrinkled and rotted brows. Um, we might be able to fix what's going on here. I mean, Oberon asked us to, so
Mm.
we should at least try. Yeah, look at that guy. He's got a little ghost eel. I love it.
So much expression in that one eye.
Mhm.
so I get basically 30 feet and I have various tricks
Mhm.
and things I can do where if there's an obstruction, I can still summon behind the obstruction. So,
Yes.
uh, is there a best place to do this?
You're wanting to summon your aquatic
I can do
creature.
either Snonky or a an amphibious
Okay.
friend.
Well,
Real quick, to be clear, there is no door anymore. But you
Oh,
absolutely can summon behind the wall where you think there used
And
to be a
Snonky has
door.
teleportation, so
Sure.
Snonky is probably our best bet then, I
especially
would
since all the
guess.
water is gone, so
And Snonky can fly if there's the need to do that too.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, if you'd like to try
So
and
we
do that.
have yes, I will summon my good friend Snonky.
Yay!
yay.
Snonky. We'll remind everyone to hydrate, please.
Um, let me just move.
So Snonky, my water familiar, uh, will appear.
Snonky's in chat, everybody.
Hmm. It's a Snonkers.
Oh,
But
that
sorry,
is
okay.
that. That's the.
Oh, okay.
That.
Okay,
I didn't realize that you'd switched maps, so I was like,
so we are water all the way down.
Give me one moment. I don't think
Ah,
Snarky
yes.
can actually speak, but
But we have telepathic connection.
yes, but the giant armored shark comes up and goes, Is everything okay? What's going on in there?"
Two thumbs come out of Snonky's fluid thing. I go,
I can't feel her presence anymore. It's
and Snonky then goes,
Should I try and break in? Oh, all right. I'll just be out here waiting.
He's so nervous. What was his name? His name was Jethro, right? Jethro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Jethro.
Lauren
Hello,
loves
Jethro.
him. Fairlos is still upset that he was part of the abduction that happened. So,
Yeah, there's that part.
so it's probably good that Fairlos has no idea what's going on at this moment.
Technically, all he did was swim up and then swim back down.
But listen,
He got his
distraction.
exercise for the day.
Yeah, distraction duty is still part of the abduction. I'm not letting him go about that.
Accessory before the fact. Gotcha.
Exactly.
You will hold him accountable very sternly.
He was the getaway driver, even if he didn't actually enter the bank, and thus is part of the problem.
Correct.
Correct.
But yeah, he's just out here swimming around anxiously, which for a shark is again an accomplishment. But did you want to know anything else other than that you were still underwater or what?
Well, so we're still underwater. Is there anything that has changed about the surrounding area that Snonky can see?
So that red glow on the skeletal creature has
Yes.
faded considerably.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the music box chest behind you is looking a lot less like a music box and more like a lump of rock.
Okay.
Not fully, you know what I mean? Like it's starting to turn into that. You can see it starting to lose its
So
definition.
does it seem like that was attached to the creature and that the ring which was sustaining the creature has allowed this music box to calcify? Is that what's going on?
Hmm.
No.
You make an Arcana check.
Okay. Not my strongest suit. Not my worst suit, but it's a
It's
suit.
it's a store-bought suit. It doesn't
It's a
fit
s-
real well, but it works.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like in a pinch, it's an 11.
You don't know. You probably have people amongst you who can maybe figure that out a little bit better, magic-wise.
Lauren just points to Essequa.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite blade singing wizard.
Exactly.
It's me.
In Essequa, you can make a easy determination that the magic on the inside and outside is probably fading because of the unconsciousness of the igniting creature. Like igniting? Close enough.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not the serpent that was being sustained by the ring. It's because of
Yeah, above the table, Latia feels like there was
Lenore.
a working, like a kind of illusory magic working to make her feel like this was a music box. Like it might actually be a rock that, because of her magic, we saw as a music box.
Right.
That's what Latia thinks. And that
Like
might be what
her
Essequa thinks.
perspective and worldview is shaping her
Hmm.
reality. Okay. Okay. I like that.
Well,
Hmm.
I am fascinated by that. I don't like it because we need to fix it. How do we fix it when she's a how do you wake up a doll?
How do you wake up a doll? Do we know anything about constructs?
I'd say all three of you make a history check.
Mm. Hmm.
I look I looked through your various tools before we started here to see if anyone had tinkering tools, and
Because
nobody
she's not made of
does. So
stone, right?
I saw your mason tools.
Yeah.
Ooh, Latia.
Oh.
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
Oh, I just saw my own.
Yeah.
I have a nat 20. Okay.
All right. Uh, Latia and you know what? I'm gonna go with
Go
oh
with Riff
gosh.
first. Go
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Riff
We'll go with
first.
Rip first. Because that's the auto success. We'll consider that always the highest. From now on, anytime anybody rolls a natural 20, we'll just consider that always the highest of the numbers.
That makes sense.
Um, okay. Rivulet. You can interpret this through your character how you'd like, but I think you might have some experience working with music boxes.
Okay.
And she is legitimately a mechanical piece of a music box that needs to be put back together in order for the music box to function. Now
Okay.
you see it from more of a intrinsic part of the world. Like the two of you are going to observe this from different directions. Rivulet, you're seeing this magic box now and understand, or magic box, technically it's magic box. You're seeing this music box as
Can I
sort
change it
of,
from a music box to, can I do
yeah, this is it.
watches?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I was, yeah. Interpret that through your character, interpret through your character as you'd like, but you do have an
Yeah.
intrinsic understanding of this kind of stuff. Um, you see all of the working parts. Like imagine that watch that you were fixing and like it kind of expands out and you see
Hmm.
the artist's rendition of all of the individual parts alongside it. Like you see her and all of her parts spread out and understand intrinsically almost from that natural 20 in this magical space exactly how they should fit together and all of the parts that are broken. Latia, you look at this from more of a less intrinsic part of the world and more of the individual parts themselves. You understand that this is a gear, this is a comb, this is a personality core, this is a memory core for a warforged or not warforged automaton. You understand how an automaton is supposed to function, and this automaton is not functioning properly.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that's you're both separate sort of like one looks at it from a sense of like this space and the reality that you exist in, and one looks at it as the individual, like actual physical.
The
Uh,
gears and cogs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And my
Mhm.
contribution to it was to ask the question and be the person who broke her in the first place. That's it. That's
We
all I
we
got.
need the question. You know what? We need someone to ask the question. That's part of it.
Which is good because my answer to that was I broke her. I can't fix her. 10.
She's broken. Yeah, for
Yeah.
you, she's broke. Yep,
Yeah.
she broke.
Very oh God, what his name? So his name, he's dead, Jim. It's very
Oh, Bones.
thank you. Yes, it's very Bones.
McCoy. Fairless and McCoy would get along real well. I think the two of them would really, yeah. They've got the same kind of
Alrighty.
sarcasm. Anyway.
I'm gonna actually because that is Richard on the other side of them all, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna say, hey, Richard.
I'm going to follow closely,
Yeah.
carefully.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell us what happened after we went downstairs?
I was I was messing around downstairs, and then I came back up here, and then she was like this.
Okay. Um, the zombies don't look like they're capable of speech, do they?
Well, I could talk.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, forgive me for assuming the zombies that I deal with on the surface are far different to you.
Well, that's kind of, a little. Uh, it's hard not to take offense to that, but all right.
I apologize profusely.
Yeah. She's broken.
Yes, I was going to ask you after we went downstairs what happened.
Look, she points over at, or he points over at Furlos. She said something to her, and then
Mhm.
she started screaming, and then
Mhm.
eventually she kind of like crawled over here and just collapsed into pieces.
I gave her an
Okay.
existential crisis by calling out her name.
Why would you do that?
I didn't know it was going to cause an existential crisis.
Well,
I was trying
Okay.
to address her by her proper name.
Does the way that she her parts are positioned, does it look like she was crawling toward something or just crawling?
she is outstretched.
Mm-hmm. It's not one hand dramatically reaching out to something and more like
It,
she just kind of
yeah.
laid out. Okay.
I mean, it looks like she was crawling. She could have been crawling. That's a really hard question to answer. I don't think. You
That's fine.
make an investigation check,
I like this.
Make a
I will.
Sherlock check.
but
Right?
it will be quite a high DC for this.
That's
May I
fine.
give some guidance, please?
You absolutely can.
I will help you steer on a Sherlock check. I like
Even
helping with that.
even a 17's not going to get you enough information to know. She
Oh.
was definitely crawling, but
Okay.
towards something, it's hard to tell.
That's fine. Um, then yeah, I'm gonna get a little closer, see if I can
Sure.
make sense to kind of be in the over here sort of area. Um, alrighty. Well,
Do you know how to fix her? Or-
I can try. Um,
As we've gotten
maybe.
this close now, is she still a creature? Is she a magical object, or is she just a collection of parts?
Whatever's most advantageous to what you want to do.
Well, as much as Fairlos has not really shown any regret for what she did, she is a healer in a couple different ways. If this is a creature, I could possibly heal her. If this is a non-magical object, I have mending. So I'm just trying to figure out, would Fairlos know which to offer to Essequat in this moment?
Sorry. In her current form, you're not entirely sure. Well, okay. Mending could be useful if you directed it in the right places.
Okay.
You don't know what those places are from your check. You don't she might need healing at some point. You don't think healing her right now would be very useful.
Okay.
So I think, and also
It's-
based on the
It's
checks
assembly right now.
that assembly right now, and then recovery once she's assembled.
And then therapy, because honestly, if just saying her name is going to cause her to collapse like this, then she really needs to talk to someone. And that
We have just developed an entire ART, assembly, recovery, therapy.
therapy. There you go.
Can we? I'm adding it to the t-shirt list.
Do it.
Um,
And as
I'm
a,
adding it to the
art.
t-shirt list, of course.
as a very wise cleric once said, I am not that kind of healer. One of these days, I'm going to play a cleric who is a therapist. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. As a very wise healer once said, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a therapist.
Did he ever actually say that?
No, that's one of those weird.
Oh yeah.
He said versions of it.
Yeah.
But the damn it, Jim, I'm a
Yeah.
doctor, not a blank.
it's in
that
the.
specific.
It's in the Abrams movie, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Well,
it's in the
I think
Abrams
they
movie because
because of the
because it
joke.
became a thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
He usually said, "Damn it, I'm a doctor," not but the "Damn it, Jim, I'm a blah blah blah." Essequa, I can help with mending if something is broken, like a piece. And if you want to
Yeah,
direct where I do this, I will be guided by
I
your expertise here.
I honestly think we can tag team on that because we both have mending, and
Oh,
that might make
excellent.
the work go a little faster. So, I think at this stage we would like to focus on assembly, putting her back together.
Zombies are going to move out of your way as they start to see that you're actually here to help.
Reluctantly, but yes.
Okay. I would like okay, so Latia, you're
Yes,
heading up this operation.
yes.
Make an investigation check. We'll
Have we
call it an
officially
investigation check.
started like assembly? Like, has Rivulet come on over and we're starting this?
Well, go ahead.
Just as we're about to do this, if I think that, if Rivulet's come on over and, we've now all scrubbed up and we're going into the ER and Essequa is about to lead the operation, you're going to hear Fairlos snicker and then pull out from her pocket, where is it? A small fish in pickled brine sealed in a jar. And she's going to say, "Well, I feel like this is the appropriate time for Wanda to help. And I'm going to use Wanda, the holy mackerel, to cast Bless on everybody." So,
All right.
Oh my God! Did you a fish called Wanda the Holy Mackerel?
I've had it in my inventory called Wanda for forever, and then the fact that we get to do it underwater makes me so happy.
When we actually do healing, my moonsicle does some extra healing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Bless's attack rolls
An
and
extra-
saving throws, so it's not necessarily going to help with all the checks, but in case I don't know why. I feel like saving throws might be helpful. And then the other thing I'm going to do, because by using Wanda, I don't have to concentrate on it. I am going to give Essequa a little pat on the back and say, "I'm going to follow whatever direction you got, but you got this." And I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on you.
Nice.
And to be clear, when you cast Bless through the Holy Mackerel,
yes,
that pickled fish comes alive.
Oh, crap. Okay. I was not expecting that. Wanda?
This is a wonderful surprise. I'm so happy.
Is it really alive or is it like animated?
Okay, that's a good question. That would be hard for you to tell. I mean, it's moving like it's alive.
Okay.
It seems alive.
All right. Well, in a minute we'll
like
find out.
all of the even though it was pickled, there was a little bit of decay that you could kind of tell that it was dead. All of that is healed up and it looks like it's moving.
Well, in 60 seconds we will know if that's just
Oh my
imaginary
gosh.
or
Did you
not.
see what Gar just said in chat?
No, what?
Help me, Wanda. Help me, Wanda.
Oh man.
This
All
is
right.
too good.
Essequa.
You had something else, I think.
Yeah, well, I gotta pick which of the attributes to give you advantage on: strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma.
These will be intelligence checks.
I was gonna say probably intelligence.
And I know your int is real high, but guess what? You now have advantage on all of them.
Excellent.
And I will concentrate on that. And that's up to an hour.
All right. We'll start with your intelligence check, Latia.
Mm-hmm.
Or Esqua, sorry. All right.
That's not how I wanted that to work. But it's still it's a 14.
Right, it's a 14. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oof,
You begin the process. Yeah, you begin the process of repairs here. The first thing you need to do is kind of catalog all the pieces, figure out because you have an idea of the way this thing is put together. So you catalog all the pieces. Rivulet.
Yes.
All right. That wasn't strictly speaking a failure, but it wasn't a very good success.
May
If
I
you
help?
would like, yeah, that's exactly what we're going into
I
here.
would love to help.
From your 25 and your 20 put together, you both get to help with this particular part of the construction.
Lovely. So what would you like me to use
Make
here?
you also make an investigation check.
Okay.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Between the two of
Which
you,
I can throw a guidance on there if we need to crank that up even higher.
if you'd like to.
Sure, let's just give
Let's
it a
see
little
how high it
extra
goes.
oomph.
Yeah.
Let's give it some oomph. So, in
There is like a
conversation,
there is
thinking
like a
about,
yeah, go ahead.
horology and like thinking about the ticking, almost like a heartbeat. Um, and I start kind of getting that beat going a little bit further, and it doesn't do much, but
Every point
Just to be
counts.
clear, when you guys are talking about, because there's going to be multiple checks here, this is a multi-stage process.
Mhm.
There is a certain level, I'm keeping track of like your successes and everything. There is a level of critical success to this that you can get beyond
Okay.
just putting her back together.
Yeah,
So
so
if
we
you're
can
trying to
like
boost, if you want to
it,
boost, like if you get like a 25 and you're like, should I use bless? You should continue to push your numbers as high as you possibly can.
cool.
we can
It's
do
it's putting her
anything.
back together versus actually fixing her.
Right. You have now completely cataloged all of her pieces. Latia, you have you're looking at this from the mechanical standpoint of that piece goes with this piece. This is how they fit together. Rivulet, you see the threads of magic as
Mm-hmm.
well
That's
beyond
so
it.
interesting how it's the opposite of what it should be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're the inverse of the normal way this would go.
Hmm.
You see the threads of magic of the way this inherently should work.
Hmm.
And from that, you guys have again successfully cataloged everything. I'd like Latia to make an Arcana check now.
Okay. Just for my ease, if it's okay with you, I would like to roll physical dice since D&D Beyond has not been happy with me lately.
Um, sure for the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to make the
Using
math faster with advantage,
yeah,
especially.
it makes the math faster for me because I don't have to swap screens to figure out what I'm doing. Right, that is an 18.
Okay. And Rivulet to assist with this. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Okay.
And guide yourself.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Okay. 19 plus 4, 23.
23 and an 18. Latia,
Me.
as you're putting the pieces together, you grab the memory core and the personality core. These are the rest of the automaton are just pieces. These are, for if you're comparing it to a person, these are the brain. These are the parts that are the actual, this is the person. And as you're putting them in place, Rivulet, you notice inherently through your interrogating the universe, for lack of a better way to put it, there is a flaw in the personality core, a
Oh.
deep notch somewhere in it, both physically and metaphysically.
Huh. How? Huh. What kind of damage is it?
The physical damage looks like it's sort of been worn by something.
Worn or warmed?
Worn, WORN. WORN. I almost spelled it so quickly it sounded like an M anyway.
Worm.
Here's the thing. If she was really down here for 1,000 years in seawater,
Hmm.
she should be more corroded than she already is. Obviously, some sort of magic has, restored her.
Preserved. Yeah.
But there are still traces of the damage that has been preserved or repaired.
Okay. Oh, this is an interesting moral dilemma for Rib
Mhm.
because repairing a person's personality is kind of not okay without their consent. Like
Mhm.
that's our flaws are what make us who we are.
True, but is this a character flaw or is this damage, external
Well,
damage that
it's
has caused?
I mean, couldn't you argue our damage is how we learn and grow?
True,
Are you
but
guys having this conversation out loud in character?
I mean, I will if
I
you
would
want to.
too, actually. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, if you explain this all, then well, I don't think we can fix her without fixing this because it sounds like if this is the thing that made her upset before, then putting her together without fixing this will just mean she'll just fall apart again. Now, if you think that we can do that and ask her permission, I'm fine to try, but my guts is this is a an injury, not a not part of her personality.
Do you think we can put her together enough to ask her if she wants this to be fixed before we
That's a
fix
good
it?
question.
Um, I would like to say, do any of you guys think you could maybe just speak directly to the personality?
Can, can we do that?
Can you is that something you can do? Can you just bypass repairs temporarily?
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, the personality core and the memory core are the thing. Everything else
Hmm.
is just whatever. Is just parts. If you had some sort of magical way to communicate with God, I know Dominique has message. She would immediately probably
Detect
volunteer.
thoughts
Yeah,
and
and
Hmm.
detect thoughts and stuff.
well, message
Um,
would be tricky because there's no
well, yeah, we're gonna get to that, but like she would probably try it immediately. Like that's her
yeah.
first
Yeah.
thought. Um,
Also, I can't help but think because she would have a head, including all of this, and she's technically dead. So could I speak with dead?
that
I
yes, you
mean,
absolutely
yeah.
can.
Okay.
She is currently dead, and she has a head.
Can I have speak with dead? Hold on. I need to make sure I even have it. Um.
I was gonna say that's our only other option.
Speak with dead. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I need to make sure I had access to it because I'm not that kind of cleric. Okay. So before we do this, Lauren has a question.
Gotcha.
Um. When because I've used this too many times, even before the movie came out. When I cast Speak with Dead, is it only what I say that this creature is going to respond to, or is it anyone it's going to respond to?
It will only be you.
Okay.
Um, uh, there will be a little bit of I'm not gonna, if you don't intend something to be a question, I'm not gonna make you be that be your question. But I will exact words you on your questions.
That's fine. That's totally fair. I just figured before because everyone does things differently with that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can try it. I've never tried this with an automaton, but worst case scenario, it doesn't work and nothing happens. And I will then. I think this is probably the first time that Fairless has ever cast this spell. And so it's going to take her a little bit to even figure out how to do it. It's like
Mhm.
she does that cleric thing in where she knows she can do it and she knows she has access to it, but has never actually done it before, and so is like weirdly just holding onto her hammer, thinking about what she needs to do, and then uh, is going to come over the cores. Are they separate or are they inside of her head?
They are they are separate currently,
Okay.
but um, from your school, you've been taught information about Speak with Dead. It's a pretty common spell for cleric staff to use.
Yeah.
Your divinity teacher has talked to you a lot about this. Um, you're not really speaking to the creature.
You're speaking to the body.
Yeah, you're speaking to the body. So even with the memory core and the personality core disconnected, you should still be able to speak to this creature as
Yeah.
long as it has a head.
Well, yeah, and so I think even then, Fearless is going to take both cores and
Mhm.
place them either to the side or even inside the head, whatever makes the most sense, and then is
There are
going.
lines that need, if you want to wait until they've connected them, there are lines that connect into the head.
Nah, because I'm just talking to the body again, so I don't think
Okay.
that's. I think this is more flavor. She's going to put everything together because I need the jaw, or else they won't speak. What's our first question going to be? As I'm like doing preparation stuff.
Uh,
How many do we get?
We get 5.
Okay. That's Essequay in character who has no idea at all like how Speak with Dead works.
if I suppose if she is aware of the damage or of the change to the personality core, if she would like us to repair it, or if she sees it as part of her identity and does not want it changed.
Okay.
Um, I think
So
those are Riv's primary concerns.
so are you aware of the damage to your personality core? That sounds like question number one. Um, and then do you want us to fix that damage?
I would. I'm gonna be. That's too semantic. Never mind.
Yeah, no, no. Like, I mean, if Rib,
Like
if
I
like
think
if
the terms like damage and fix are prejudicing the answer because it's
fair,
the assumption that it's a broken thing
fair,
and it's
and
yeah,
because Sim is going to exact words us, I want it like Essequa is cataloging for because I feel like Ferlos is concentrating on preparing the spell, so there is
right,
a level of effort that she has to expend just to do this. Essequa is helping by making sure that we know what questions we want to ask.
right,
So, in that sense, Essequa is going to make sure that the questions that we want to ask are exactly what we want to ask.
exactly what we want. Yeah. Um, yeah, so I think it's
Also, you pre-preparing is good, but like the first answer to the first question might completely change your context. So just
Exactly.
nail your first question and then go from there.
All right, because you're also not like you're not gonna you're not gonna be that DM who,
Yeah,
as we're
it's
discussing what the second question is, make that the
yeah,
second
we're not doing
question.
that. No.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I will, that's all cool. I will say that question of would you like us to uh would you like us to leave things alone or repair
Change.
the damage? I think
Yeah.
that's a question we're eventually going to get to. So if you would like to, it takes me 10 minutes to cast this thing. I don't know why. Everything else just requires me to hit it with a hammer, but this 10 minutes. So if you want to like write down exactly what you want me to ask, that's fine with me.
It is becoming so clear why Fairless has never cast the spell because she has to wait.
No
It's a
patience
little bit.
No
whatsoever.
wait.
It's a little bit of that. It's also the like, I am usually the reason that they are dead. I don't need to ask them questions if I've made them dead. But here we
The
go.
time for questions is over.
Uh-huh. I
Right.
wouldn't have hit them if I still had questions.
Okay, so cementing the first question, I think I feel like we should ask if she's aware of it. So Are you aware?
Have you noticed the changes in your any changes in your personality?
Have you noticed? How have you been feeling lately?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Oh, now we gotta become actual
We are going to be actually we
therapists.
are arting this. We are arting this so hard.
So hard.
Can someone find a couch and we'll be okay?
You will notice that Essequa has in the rearranging of parts, she looks like she is reclining on a couch of sorts. No, she,
All right. Do we have our first? Are we ready to do the thing, or?
Are you aware of the changes to your
Any
personality?
have you noticed any like it's a how are you feeling? Have you noticed
yeah, but I also don't want it to be. I don't want our question to be so open ended
so
that.
broad that it's yeah.
Mhm. So
Yeah,
that
it'd be
we
like, how are you feeling? I'm in pieces.
How about this? Are you aware of what caused you to collapse?
That's a good
that's
one.
a good one.
Because
I like that.
that should help with figuring out. I'll say this character. Um, Figuring out why she collapsed could lead to the what's gone wrong, and then
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
how to make repairs or however we want to say it. But do
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know
So
why you collapsed?
Let,
yes.
let
Do
me
you?
offer you this.
Mhm.
Don't ask a yes or no question.
Okay.
But that's all we get.
Rephrase it,
Can you tell us why you collapsed?
or just
Sorry,
yeah.
my God just told me we should not ask yes or no questions because bodies are lazy and we'll just say yes or no. Don't ask me why. It's just
Oh, that's
annoying.
right. I don't know why I thought Speak with Dead was only yes or no questions.
No,
Some people
this
probably
one.
play it that way, but it's not.
Can you tell us why you collapsed?
Can you? That's still a yes or no question, by the way.
What was the cause
It's
of your
just
collapse?
tell us about
There you
why you
go.
collapsed.
No, what was the cause of your collapse? Is should be
That
the first
works.
should the first
Cause
question
of
be?
yours?
It and so it shall be.
And so it shall be.
There's
Well,
one
And
other.
just to be
so it was, and so it shall be.
yeah. All right, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna finish casting. The hammer is gonna glow. The hammer is then like the magic through her hammer is gonna go into the head and the cores, and you're gonna watch as the head kind of just rights itself just a little bit, as though it is looking up at probably Fairlos, who is then just going to cross her arms and say, "What was the cause of your collapse?"
I was overwhelmed with emotion after being reminded of my lost love.
All right, well, there y'all go. He's got 4 more questions. What do you think?
God, it just gets harder from here.
Mm,
In a weird way, it's easier though knowing that they'll only respond to questions from me because we can have these in between
discuss,
discussions.
yeah.
So, and here's the thing: what her answer tells us is that she knows who she is. She knows she has lost love, so she knows that she is Lenore.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that is where Essequa's thought kind of like that's where she blue screens.
So we eventually want to get to the point where and this is out of character. We eventually want to get to the point where we're asking her if she gives us permission to change whatever needs to be changed so that she can come back
Right.
online. Whether that
Let me
is a
Well,
repair
well, we can
or
bring her back online regardless, but it's do we bring her back online with her personality core the way it is, or with shiny, you know,
With aftermarket
refurbished.
parts, refurbished.
yeah.
Furlos, just to be clear here, in case this was because it sounds like maybe you're thinking elsewise, and I want to be sure I'm clear. You can speak in character until you tell me that you're directing a question at this corpse. It will not be a question, even
Oh.
if you even if you ask a question to one of your other people. It's not going to do that.
That is very good to know. My God has told me that I can just chat with you all I want. I got to be looking at their eyes in order to ask a question. See, they were trying to teach me this in school, and I kept going, no, my purpose in life is to like whack things with a hammer. Why would I then want to talk to them? That's neither here nor there. Okay, so we're trying to figure out. Let me ask the two of you this. If we do nothing and just put her back together, are we setting her up to just fall apart immediately? And if that is the case, are we looking to find out what we are allowed to change so that that won't happen? Because it makes no sense for us to not do anything except put her back together for her to then have another meltdown immediately.
Well,
I also
was
think
this
we might have one freebie question, given that we really only have two questions that we want to ask her, and it just kind of like we're helping. The other three questions are narrowing that down.
Yeah.
So you might
well,
have a freebie or two.
some of this is like, has this happened before,
That's a
right?
good.
Because if the collapses are happening regularly, that's one thing. If this is the first time it's ever happened, it may be keyed to something different.
I could ask, uh, can you describe the last time this has happened? And then the answer is she either tells us the last time it happened and we know that this has happened before, or the answer is this hasn't happened before, or she describes what just happened. That make sense?
Yes, but we have to phrase it in a way that we don't just get a yes or no.
Well, that's why. Can you describe?
Yeah, tell me about.
Tell me about the last time you
This happened.
collapsed like this.
Yeah,
What
I
was the
like that.
last? I'm helping you a lot on this first time around to speak of dead because it's one of those spells. What was the last time this happened to you? If you say can you, that's a yes or no.
Or when was the last time this happened to you? That's what we
If you
want. When?
if you say when, then you're not going to get any extra details other than
Ah, okay.
Isn't
Prior to
and tell me about. It wouldn't do it.
it's not really a question.
Tell me about the last time.
Yeah, that's not really a question.
It's got to be in form of a question.
Valid. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Suddenly, I hear the Alex Trebek music.
We won't. I won't be guiding you next time you use the spell. I won't be guiding you as much as this. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys get it. Solid
Listen, I'm never using this spell again. I don't know why you keep telling me that I need to learn how to use this. Been alive for all these decades and finally using this thing on an automaton. Sorry.
What was the
Before-
experience like the last time you collapsed, or
That would do it.
what was happening the last time you collapsed?
Before
What was?
And
Mhm.
before this?
yeah, before today, what was the experience you had the last time you collapsed?
Well, we don't know if it could have happened earlier today as well.
But that still tells
This
us
could be a
that still tells us if it's happened before
That's
and
true.
didn't
That's true.
need me yelling out her name to do it. So that's all we're
That's
really
true.
looking for. All right, I'm
Go
going to
for
look
it.
into the eyes of this automaton and say, prior to today, describe the experiences you've had. Would you describe... What did we say? I've already lost it.
How would you describe?
How would you describe the last time you experienced this meltdown?
Uncomfortable.
Okay, so we know that this has happened before.
Okay.
I think it's
I'll take it.
I think it's a fair assumption to say the last time this happened, she was probably put back together by Oberon. I don't know if we need to know that or need to probe further in case I'm wrong.
She was definitely put back together by Oberon. That's definitely a thing that happened.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
He says he doesn't understand much about it though, because it's all machines and stuff.
Which explains why she keeps breaking down.
Do we? And then we also don't need all five questions if we can get to the heart of the matter before that.
Correct.
Uncomfortable.
Is there anything we want to know about Oberon?
Mm.
Well,
with our last question.
I think that's a good question, but let's get to the question we need answering
Right.
first.
You have
I'm
five
just putting
total,
it
so
We
out
do.
there as something we may want to
yeah.
Yeah.
to add to the mix if we have
To
a
keep in our
leftover
back
question.
pockets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got three
Mm-hmm.
more. So how would we like to actually phrase the would you like us to repair the damage to your personality core, or is this part of your identity question? How do we want to how would we like to do that? Because if we get an answer that we are satisfied with, then our other two questions can be immaterial to
Fun.
this problem.
Um, so it was
How would
uncomfortable.
you
Yeah.
describe
Uh-huh.
the experience?
Hmm.
What sort of changes, if any, have you noticed in your personality recently,
Oh,
or in your
I think that's a good one.
yeah.
how you feel, something like that?
Or is there something or um what's different between the last time you collapsed and this time? You know?
Like trying to figure
Mm.
out why she collapsed the last time.
Or
Well,
if
how has your emotional state changed over that time? Right? Is that what we're?
I think I think what Essequa is trying to do here is see if we can get her to acknowledge the malfunction of her personality core without directly saying, "Hey, we've noticed a malfunction in your personality core."
Mm.
Um,
I don't think there's necessarily a problem saying that there's corrosion of the core. Like that's not the problem to acknowledge that there's corrosion. But it's is this a problem for you?
there we
And
go.
would you like us to change that?
So something like, is the corrosion in your core?
Related to your collapse or caused by your
Mm.
collapse.
I think it, I don't I think it's more about the experience of it. So it's is the corrosion of your personality core, because we can't give the framing of you have corrosion in your personality core. So I think it has to be included in the question, right?
Mhm.
So is the corrosion in your personality core causing you distress? Or can you describe the experience of the corrosion in your
Ooh, I like
Can
personality
the can
core?
you describe the experience is really, really good.
Or please, like it's the because I don't want that to
Well,
be a
yeah,
yes
not
or
can you,
no,
but yeah.
Yeah.
but but I
How
know the
would you
please describe.
describe?
How would you describe? Yeah.
yeah. How would you
Um,
describe the?
the experience of the corrosion of
Uh,
your personality core.
how would you describe the?
Your
Your
experience.
yeah. All right. I'll look into the eyes. How would you describe your experience that has changed because of the corrosion in your personality core?
Agony, agony, forever, always. I have fallen down and I cannot get up.
Well, we know it's not beyond power of speech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, that certainly leads us to a conclusion that she would want that fixed, corrected. Riv, what's a better word that implies that does not imply that there is damage and that we want it? What's a better word?
Uh, I think I
Repair?
think flat out asking, would you like us to
Yeah, no, I was just asking for me because I wanted to stop using so many words that implied that there was something wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in this case, I think refurbish or um
How about just alter?
um
Would you like us to alter that corroded part of your core?
Alter implies changing
adjust,
it to
reset.
reset. Yeah, because alter could imply changing it to something that is not what it was originally.
I think repair actually in this case is okay. Um,
If only because she's saying it's agony. It is not a good
because
thing,
she's saying it's agony. It's like going in and repairing after a traumatic injury kind of situation where there
Yeah.
is,
It's an
you know,
actual injury and she's
Yeah.
just been
you're
living with
knitting
it, but
together things.
yeah.
But I think the more important part was like, is this thing causing you distress? Because often if it's not, people make assumptions that, hey, we need to fix a person. And if it's not causing someone distress and they can go about their life just because you think it's an issue doesn't mean they think it's an issue. And then do you want to change it? And again, it's that person's perspective.
Above the Table, this is incredibly relevant because I just watched that one episode of Misfits and Magic
Mm.
where one character did something to another character because they thought that the other character needed fixing, and that went very, very wrong. No spoilers if you haven't seen it, but this is incredibly relevant. So I'm glad that we're taking a different tack on that.
As someone who consistently plays clerics, there's a lot of consent that just gets asked.
It's always good to ask somebody before you do stuff to their body or brain.
It
Mhm.
also becomes
Just
fun because you find out,
standard.
hey, you're turning into a werewolf. Is this something you still want, or is this something you're happy
Mhm.
with? And then later, when they're like, yeah, I'm happy with this, and then later on, you need to cast remove curse, and you're like, oh, I can't. So it leads to its own fun role playing. Um,
Or you have an awesome werewolf in your party,
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's
and suddenly you have a level 14, you know,
yeah.
creature that can show up when you need them. So,
Uh,
werewolf friend.
but
What do
yeah,
you think your next question is going to be?
I think it's fair, like you said, because this is causing pain and agony, and the way that she's describing it. Um, so using repair, would you will you give us consent to repairing the damage to your personality core? Does that sound like
Do you want us to
Yeah, do
repair?
you want us to repair?
okay? I'll look into the eyes. Do you want us to repair the damage that has been done to your personality core?
Yes.
All right, we have one more question.
I thought we had two more questions.
That's one.
No.
Oh,
Because
okay.
what was the cause of your collapse prior to today? How would you describe the last time you experienced the
Right.
meltdown?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have
How,
one. Should this one be about Oberon? We've got
mm-hmm.
we have acquired consent. That we have achieved our goal. Now let's bonus it up.
Is Oberon a good kisser?
I'm sorry, we
Uh,
You
do
might
not need to
actually have an
ask
answer to
that.
that.
Sure, no, I was gonna say,
That
um,
was just Jen goofing
The
around.
answer to that is yes, and we all know it without having to experience it.
It's
exactly.
true.
So actually, I'm kind of curious. Um, I want to know more about their relationship. Like, is this a relationship of like not necessarily equal partnership because you cannot have you so few people can be equal partnership with freaking Oberon. But is there um I don't know, is he I'm just gonna fall back on is he a good kisser? Um like is he respectful, I guess.
I mean, or
'Cause I mean,
maybe
Admittedly asked.
yeah, maybe just ask, why do you think Oberon helped you? Because she can't tell us what he thinks.
that's right.
Only,
And I don't want to necessarily grab something that is subjective.
yeah. But finding out what she believes could
Mhm.
give us a clue.
Yeah, because we're not gonna like we're not asking how many hit points does Oberon have. We're trying to figure. We're just trying to get the measure of him, and that's a. I think that's a good question that would help.
Excuse me.
Riv, you okay with that?
Hmm.
All right, we'll look into the eyes. Why do you think Oberon has been helping you?
Oberon repaired me to be a guardian to the gateway to the Feywild beneath.
And then the head kind of goes,
Uh,
oh, you're not done?
and also, I think he cares about me a little too much. And then
And then
she's done.
the head just tilts a little slightly. I would like to never cast that spell again. I'm just gonna put it out there. That's I know. Let's just not do that again. Or someone else can learn how to cast that. That was creepy.
It is a little unsettling. I could only imagine it would be worse for an actual flesh and blood being.
I don't know, and you know what? I would like to not find out. Let's fix
Cool.
her.
I'm really proud of you for avoiding that particular existential crisis.
I've had enough this last week. Let's just do what we need to do.
Okay.
If does the repairing part, does it involve literally just like mending the damage to the physical damage to the core, or is there more that we
Well,
need?
now that we're here, if you guys are actually choosing to do that,
Yes.
there's both physical and metaphysical damage,
Okay.
as I mentioned before. Latia, you'd be in charge of the physical. Rivulet, you'd be in charge of the metaphysical.
Again,
Okay.
really, really happy with
The inversion.
with the subversion of that particular uh challenge. Yeah, let's
So
do it.
Latia, straight investigation check.
Straight investigation. All right. I know that you want to see my rolls, but I feel so much more comfortable rolling physical dice.
You still have advantage because that lasts for an
I
hour.
do. Investigation, you say?
Yes,
21.
21.
Ooh.
Rivulet, an insight check.
May I guidance on this?
Sure.
19, I think.
Yep, 19.
Yeah.
All right. Essequa,
Yep.
you begin the process. You can see you have to actually take it apart. There's a little panel. You pull it open, and you recognize that there is this little notch in the major part of the personality core that is legitimately just full on physical damage that can easily be fixed with a mending spell.
Okay. You see, she puts a little pince nez on the end of her snout. You don't know where she got it from. These have never been. Actually, it's just her goggles of night. They don't help.
She puts them down, but then she intentionally goes "Mwah," and puts them on her snout instead. So,
Oh my gosh, can her goggles of night be a pince nez?
yes.
If
Yeah.
that's what you'd like,
That's
absolutely.
so amazing.
Pince
I
nez
love
of night.
Essequa so much.
I have been thinking about the aesthetic changes that I wanted to do to some of her stuff, and the goggles there. I don't know if they're going to be goggles. I'm not fully sold on them being pince nez just because the Black Dragon has pince nez somewhere,
Oh, valid.
and I like the idea of a very big guy with teeny glasses. So I might just let that dragon have that. So I don't know what they're going to be, but they're not going to be like full on goggles, or if they are, they're going to be a little aesthetically different. But she put something on the end of her snout. Maybe it's just a monocle. Who knows?
Hmm.
And she gets in there with a claw to just kind of poke at what needs mending and mending it.
While you're doing that, and you cast the spell mending, Rivulet, everything in this room goes grid-like, for lack of a better way to put it.
We're in trauma.
Okay.
Yes, actually, that is an extremely useful touchstone for the visuals of what you're seeing here. and you see this little wisp of dark smoke coming off of the notch. And you know, if you wanted to, you could just reach forward and get rid of it.
Uh, I want to just take as much observation of it as I can before I do that and
Absolutely.
distribute it to see if I can understand it, learn about the magic that I'm looking at, and sort of
That okay.
file that.
Make an make another insight check, I think would probably
Okay.
be the best thing.
And regardless, I will add it to my research list.
Sure.
Not so good. 11 with a guidance.
You have an
I'll get to it.
inspiration?
I don't think I do. That takes me to 15. No, I don't have an inspiration.
Actually, I'm going to give you inspiration
Oh, okay.
because
Then I
of
do have an inspiration.
the Theos from earlier.
I will use my inspiration then to reroll my insight, see if I can do better. Oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 23. Um, this is a flaw in reality.
Wait. Now we have to cast Speak with Dead on all of reality.
Wait, reality is not dead. It just is like it's got
Having an
problems like all of us.
Reality is having an
existential crisis. I went to go say
That's
it,
what
and
we
then
do.
my brain went,
we've established.
can reality have an existential crisis? Somehow I feel better about my existential crisis knowing the entire universe is having one.
I mean that's now our slogan is we give reality an existential crisis. Secondhand souls, we give reality an existential crisis.
And that's all the information I
welcome.
think you get, but that's probably all the information you need.
I was about to say that was a package.
Right?
It's not a long sentence, but it's a meaningful one.
Yeah, meaty.
So just by blowing it on it, I am dissipating the flaw in reality.
It's one of those things where it's in this moment you have a special deep insight into reality. And like
Okay.
anything you do, you could wave it away, you could blow on it, there's any number of things you could do. You're seeing a physical representation in this computerized looking setting of something that exists for real in the real world, and you can fiddle with it however you'd like. There is no limit to the ways that you could manipulate this thing.
Fucking call it Steven.
No, I'm anything I can notice or file away about this place and the way it looks and exists, I would like to do that.
Okay. It is certainly sourced fully from Lenore. It is actually a extension of her.
This is how she perceives the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the dragon at the center is not just I almost made that like it's an aside, like it's an unimportant thing. The dragon at the center actually reaches, like when you can see through the world, reaches out and down and all the way into infinity. Like the back of it grows down into it underneath and then out into infinity.
I picture Riv is just like really intently studying this little bit of smoke, filing away all this information before you go ahead and do things. And it's just like, huh. And then dragon. You just get distracted by a little thing. You look the other way. It's just infinity.
What does the dragon look like? I mean, is it
the same dragon from your dream?
Yeah, we mentioned this last time.
Yeah,
it looks exactly the same as the dragon.
Well, I knew the design was the dragon from my dream, but this is the three-dimensional. It is the same dragon.
Yeah.
And is it stretching in a certain direction, or is it just
I mean,
like
it wiggles,
Ouroboros
it wobbles.
style out of the
It just
but it
goes
don't
off
fall
so
down.
far. it wiggles and wobbles, and it
And
just
don't
goes
fall
off into the well, lack of a way to put it, not horizon, just goes off until it's so small you can't see it.
And is it static or is it moving?
It is not moving.
Okay.
In fact, nothing and nobody else in this scene currently is moving. It's just you.
Mm.
Hmm.
Everything is on pause. You've paused the game briefly.
I'm
And
always on
she
pause.
she was made by the company, right?
Yeah, the Kasari specifically.
Mhm.
She was made in the old Kasari Empire.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Make a history check right now.
Because we know that Richard had the mark of
Yeah, Richard has the Lipercorp mark on
the
him.
light.
Yep.
Yeah.
She also has a Leprechaun mark on him, but
Okay, history check. Come on, history. Watch me not. Oh. Yeah, that didn't go well.
yeah. The only thing
Nope.
you can pick
8.
up from her history, and you're like, this is the universe sort of like aligning to give you information as best as possible. But the only thing you're able to pick up from it is she was originally designed to be an entertainer
Ah,
before she was granted her freedom.
that explains this.
The design, at the very least.
Mhm.
And what would you like to do in this moment?
Time to blow out the candle.
Yeah, I think it's time to fix the blow away the smoke.
All right. And it just dissipates. And everything
Like a drop of food coloring in water.
Mm.
and everything goes back and time starts moving again.
How cool is that I just got to see through someone else's perception?
Did you
That's
do you say that
awesome.
in character or out of character?
I would say it a little differently in character, I think. Riv. I just observed the world through someone else's eyes.
Their eyes, I assume.
It's very different.
Well,
And I look at Lenore and I say, the way you see the world is beautiful.
I mean, I
And
assume
she's still dead, but
she's still
It
dead.
doesn't.
yeah.
I assume,
I'll tell her again when she wakes up.
I assume everybody sees the world differently.
Yes, but this was very different.
It does not take you very much longer to assemble her the rest of the way. And once she is assembled, Latia, you hit the power switch if you'd like to.
I want Riv and me to
Gotcha.
push to hit the switch together.
Yeah.
Fairlos is going to intentionally stand back and heft the hammer over her shoulder, not threateningly, but at the ready, just in case. So I'm just gonna step back and let the two of you do this thing, and I'm just gonna keep an eye out.
All right.
On the count of go. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Hello. I
The
am.
way you see the world is beautiful.
And so are you.
Thank you.
And we're going to take our break now.
Yay!
Sounds like a plan.
We will come back at 15 till.
Yeah.
So
All right, everybody, don't have an existential crisis while we're gone.
No, only we
No.
get to give those out.
Right.
ahoy hoy and welcome back. I'm gonna do the credits again real quick just to make sure that we do that at the beginning of this part. Cartography by Cze and Peku, Cartography by Cze and Peku Sci-Fi, mapped by Luke Stratton, mapped by Eightfold Paper, music by Tabletop Audio, character tokens by Greek46, custom tokens by Cze and Peku Tokens, overlays by Brian Podell of Exploding Dice, and a custom world map by Frecklesketches. And thank you again to our moderators, Billith and Strike Red Kite.
And I'm going to talk very, very quickly about Idle Champions while DM, you need to double check your captions. I think your caption thing needs a refresh because they're no longer coming up. Although the captions through closed captioning are still happening. So you have multiple
If
ways
we need a
of
refresh
getting...
on the thing, we will need someone
We'll have
to
to
resend
message.
links.
Yeah. No, it's just the DMs for now. But like I said, the other captioning is still working, so you do have options.
Cool.
You know what also is working? ! Code to get yourself an Idle Champions Electrum chest. Go ahead and grab that now because, free stuff is fun.
I need to text someone so I can get another code to do the closed captioning real quick here.
It's going to need another code? Okay.
Yeah, anytime that goes down, we've got to get a new.
Well, drat. Because literally
Dang it.
the only one that I'm not seeing it come up for is our DM.
I need a new code. Closed captioning.
But
We
like I
love
said,
text to speech.
exactly. But like I said, the
We do.
other
Fast.
captioning is working. So if we do want to keep going, that is still going on. It's just not as broken up as the ones
right.
that are on the screen.
In the meantime, Lenore stands up, fully repaired in both mind and body, and I am Lenore, Entertainment Unit 665431 of Liprocore. Wait. And the room you're in shifts.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Ooh.
It is now
That's
brighter.
Oh,
The water hasn't returned, but it is now brighter in here.
It's probably a good
Apologies. I don't believe I have been myself.
That's okay. Everybody sometimes becomes not themselves.
Well, hello. I am the guardian of the gate to the Feywild beneath. Is that where you would like to go?
No, we've been.
thing. What's the last thing
Oh.
you remember?
Hmm.
I have memories of all the things that happened, but it is like looking at your life through an aquarium tank.
Do you remember us
Interesting.
being here earlier?
Yes, you mentioned my name. How did you know it before I spoke it to you?
It's a very long story, but we have
That-
encountered others who knew you, to keep it short.
Others? It's been 1,000 years. There cannot be others.
Why not? There's you, and you've been here for 1,000 years, and you are proof that there can be those who are here for 1,000 years.
I
That was
suppose.
really eloquent.
Thank you.
Where did you meet people who knew me?
A place now called Mount Chicken Island. Don't know if it was called Mount Chicken Island back then.
Who did you meet?
Bagger Frock.
And her eyes go wide at the mention of Bagger Frog.
I was just holding on to the hammer again.
That's how we knew who you were. He
Oh.
told us about you.
Bagger is still alive? That should not be possible.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. He is alive. He's definitely living. He's different than how you remember him. But he's alive.
How so? He was one of the safety inspectors at the power plant.
Mhm.
Is he still working there?
Technically, yes.
Excellent. I'm not sure how they've gotten by without their clerical technician, but
Who was that?
I am their clerical technician, or was.
But no longer?
No, I sailed away approximately 1,000 years ago in order to determine if there was still if there were still people that could assist us, and I fell to the bottom of the ocean when my ship was destroyed, so I could not return.
How was your ship destroyed?
A giant serpent, Godrin, the reliable employee, was subverted by the creeping cold.
Okay.
I suppose he deserves a different name now, if he's still functioning.
He is not.
He is not.
He was
He
not one
did
of.
not. He did not survive the 1,000 years.
I remember. That's his body outside, isn't it?
We believe so.
Mhm.
You have his amulet.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing it. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, if you do not wish to enter the Feywild beneath, it has been a pleasure, and I appreciate your assistance.
Lenore, can you tell us a bit more about your job with Lipercore?
I was a trickery domain cleric who who was capable of operating multiple stations at the same time to cast the proper spells to operate the interfaces
Mhm.
to retain the safety of the reactor.
And that's stuff that we all knew because we had to do her job.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
But I'm curious how you were an entertainment unit then. How did
Ah,
that coincide?
are you not aware? Has the history of the Kasari Empire been lost to you?
Well, things
Somewhat.
change over time, certainly. So, a direct account from someone who's lived it is much
Of
more
course.
reliable than something from.
When stories get confused in the retelling,
Of
history is
course.
written by the victors, etc., etc.
Well, older units were created for a particular purpose. However, there was a civil rights movement in which we were given our freedom and ability to choose our vocations.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly thought so.
So, in addition to being uh, in addition to your work at the reactor, you also chose to pursue entertainment.
I was originally crafted for the purpose of entertainment. I was a dancer,
So, vice versa.
something along those lines. Yes.
Okay.
When I was
And
allowed to choose, I remained unemployed for a while before eventually becoming a follower of the God in the Dream.
God, that's so relatable.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, Okay, if she's a follower of the god in the dream. Um,
River, you okay if I break in here and ask a question, or do you need a
yes,
second?
please. I'm trying to think of how to
Yeah, I see you
ask the things I
pondering.
want to ask.
Well, you've changed jobs before. Your job right now is to protect the Feywild entrance. Is this a job you want to keep?
I believe it is necessary.
That was not what I asked.
And yet it is my answer.
Hmm.
Well, just so you
The-
know, if you decide that you do want to change jobs, you are still welcome to be who you want to be on the surface, even if it has been 1,000 years.
Of course. I think you may misinterpret my purpose here.
Maybe,
Yeah, I
I
was.
but my concern is that you are happy with your purpose and want to fulfill it instead of finding a new purpose.
Latia, what were you about to say?
I was gonna ask if she. I was gonna ask her directly. Do you see this work as similar to your work with the reactor?
Yes, it is quite similar. My
Then.
job is to, of course, welcome and direct new entrance to the Feywild.
Mhm.
But the majority of my purpose is to protect and prevent the escape of creatures from the Feywild into the real world.
So
Without
it.
my
Mhm. Go on.
existence and presence, I do not believe your oceans would be secure.
Yeah, I think she sees this as a it's almost a relocation. Same work, different area, different criteria. And I'll say something similar to Fairlos. Like, um, I think I think she's doing the same work in a different location. So I think kind of by that aspect, she's happy doing what she's doing.
Yeah, as long as she is happy doing what she's doing. You are not interested in, well, I'm just going to say it, abducting people to bring them on down here against their will.
He pauses for an uncomfortable amount of time.
I just keep staring right at her. Like, all right, go through your memory banks. Remember what you're doing. Now that you now you remember who you are you still going to do this?
I see.
Oh, she's
I
remembering.
I will need to correct several things, I think. She looks over at the zombies, at Richard, and also who appear out of invisibility, Harriet and Tomas.
They've been here the whole time.
Oh no.
Yes, I will need to correct some things.
That would be appreciated. Not that it hasn't been an interesting experience to be down here with all of you. I'd rather not have to chase one of my crewmates down here again against their will.
Of course. Apologies for my actions when I was not myself.
Apology accepted.
Excellent. And if you ever fall down, I wish that you will be able to raise yourself back up.
You'll see as she just kind of glances at Riv and Dominique and Essequa and says, "That's what friends are for."
And I think you have them. They were very concerned about you when you were not, before we put you back together.
Yes, though I, again, may need to correct some past mistakes in that regard. Yes.
I'm just hypothesizing. I don't know how difficult you perceive that task to be, but I'm hypothesizing that it may be a little less difficult than you think.
Perhaps.
Well,
I have directed Jethro to assist you in returning to the surface if you would like.
Oh, that'd be great. He's fast.
I'm just so curious because we don't know a lot of people who have lived through so much history. Um, I know you're a follower of the God in the Dream. Have you always been a follower of the God in the Dream?
Once I was able to be conscious of my own choices, I chose to follow the god in the dream. Not always, but always.
And was the God in the Dream always an option for you?
Yes. Well, as soon as I was able to choose.
Were you able to choose at the same time that everyone else was able to choose?
What do you mean?
I don't, at the moment where you became free to make your own choices, is it possible? How to articulate this?
were there a lot like you who were given your freedom at the same time?
Yes.
That's actually not what I'm trying to get at.
Oh,
What I'm
okay.
trying to get at was when the gods became gods, when the
The
reality
gods were
show.
gods long before we became free.
Okay,
Okay.
I was trying to see if we could get information about the reality show and the gods turning into gods, the people
Oh,
turning
okay.
into gods. And wondering if it was coinciding in any way with the consciousness. Um,
In fact, I will tell you, the god in the dream and the god in the heart were instrumental in the civil rights movement that granted us our freedoms in the first place.
I am not surprised.
not either. Um, were you familiar with the various groups that were their worshippers or followers?
Familiar? Yes.
Even the fringe groups?
Perhaps. I could check my memory core for any information if you were to ask something.
Did you ever hear of, well, do we want to ask that?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I sort of look at everyone just
What
because
are you gonna ask about?
it's a,
they ask about the Isle of Dreams and the
Oh,
yeah, I
but do we think anybody else is going to be asking that question?
mean the only other
Like, do
person
we
that I could
think
think of would be Oberon, and at that
Oberon
point, like, how are we gonna stop Oberon?
or if anybody else gets captured in the
But
trio or
true,
Jethro?
but that's why I was asking her initially about the are you still gonna be grabbing people? I got the sense from that interaction that no, she's gonna stop that was part of things that have gone
part of
wrong.
Okay,
yeah.
So I think the
then
chances of someone else intentionally coming down here other than Oberon are
okay.
pretty small.
Do you know anything about the Isle of Dreams?
One moment.
Searching Isle of Dreams.
The
Control
Isle of
F.
Île
Dreams.
de Rêve.
Isle of Dreams. Small colony of Brescia. Followers from Brescia who believed that the god in the dream and the god in the heart were one and the same rather than spouses.
Ooh,
Interesting.
really interesting.
They were expelled from Brescia, but still under Brescia's nominal control. If
The
Brescia
gods
still
were? Or
No,
the
the
followers
followers.
the followers.
were? Okay.
They were expelled because of their belief. Not
Yes,
Okay.
it seems.
Yeah, I was getting uh like citation needed from that particular sentence,
Yeah, can you repeat it? So the followers were expelled from Brescia.
but still remain under Brescia's nominal control.
If
So
Brescia
And
still exists, I would imagine Brescia would have some information on this Isle of Dreams.
hmm. What about what's the name of the guy
You guys are
who
using this
wrote the
character
book?
as an encyclopedia, and I love it.
Yes, we at any time we have access to a past encyclopedia, we're gonna use it.
and
mhm.
What
and
was the
one that we
name
could
of
ask
the
questions of fairly freely without worry about, you know, her passing along that
Yeah.
information to just anybody. Like,
Which guy are you talking about, Jen?
the guy who wrote the Nicholas Gabriel,
Hmm.
Oh,
The guy who wrote the original the treatise on
who
dreams
was like the
thing.
head of
Yeah.
the cult. Yeah.
Nicholas Gabriel, leader of the cult of the dream, originally wrote works claiming to be a dreamer, claiming that the world was all taking place in a simulation inside his own mind.
wild.
Not much knowledge was retained about his, frankly, heretical thoughts because they were quite damaging to the societies they were a part of. If people genuinely believe that reality isn't real, then they will act as such.
it's sad to know that there are people out there who will act in a different way even if they don't think that they are real.
Mhm.
That is sad. You guys have anything else?
Just Jen, is this the kind of thing we're asking if we could come back to visit is going to make Riv happy or worried?
Happy.
Okay.
I think anytime we have access to someone who has connected in different ways to the universe and has different ways of seeing the world, that's going to be great.
Okay. Uh,
That's like file in the ally file.
if it's okay with you, we need to take our leave and get back to our crew to make sure everybody's okay. But I have a feeling that some of us may want to return and chat with you more. Are you okay with that?
Of course. According to my connection, Oberon now owes you a favor?
That's right.
Yes.
Well, anyone who is a friend of Oberon is a friend of mine.
He was very concerned about you being happy again.
Yes, he is perhaps a bit too concerned. I worry. But, you know,
We'll dig into that the next time we come see you.
Fairlos comes this close. She won't say it out loud. She comes this close to saying, "Love will make you do that." But that's conjecture, and also will probably just make people
Short circuit
unhappy.
her again.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need to leave her with an existential.
before you leave, if you would, if you see Bagger Frock again, tell him that I miss him. And
Oh.
tell him where I am.
We'll do that.
I think there's a very good chance we will see him on our way back.
Excellent. You hear the nose of Jethro kind of tapping on the outside of the door that is now back.
Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the doors are gonna open and we're gonna get wet again. Okay.
Actually, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, you make a good point. However, eventually we're going to need to go out of
Well,
this
yeah.
place and then we will get wet again. But good to know that there's a possibility of a wave of water.
Right. Are we going to get wet? Absolutely. It is an inevitability. Will water come into this place when that door opens?
And
I'm not
flood,
sure
yeah.
anymore.
That's, you know what? I will turn and
TBD.
say, we'll leave the way we came. Should we be prepared for a fast influx of a lot of water when that door opens up?
No, because that would kill you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't think she knows that we can also breathe under.
No,
she
I
does
think
not.
I think the pressure
That
of
the pressure
that, yeah.
From the depth you guys are at? Ooh.
Fair. Very
yeah,
fair.
we'd be knocked around like a piñata. It'd be bad. It'd be real bad.
Actually, I'm pretty sure at this depth you would just
We would
cease to be.
Maybe.
You would stop. It's the sense where you would stop being biology and start being physics.
Is that the second time that I've heard that today?
It
Really?
it's
Yeah,
not it's
where
not it's
some-
not original to me. I didn't make it up. I've heard it before.
No. I was watching something else, or oh no, I was watching Misfits and Magic, where something
Oh.
stops being biology and starts being physics. They were just talking about
Yeah.
something that happened.
This is one of those, if I had a nickel for every time I heard this, I'd have 2 nickels,
It's
which is
twice,
not a
yeah.
lot, but it is still more than I
But
expected.
it's a lot of nickels for one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's
Now
a gumball.
I have found the origin of it. Great.
That's funny.
I'm learning.
All right,
All
shall
right.
we return to our ship? We have a couple crewmates to talk to about where they've been for the last year and a half.
Jethro is going to, if you allow him, take you up to the surface fairly quickly, much quicker than you would have been able to make it on your own, except for the natural swimmers of the group, I think.
Still think Jethro is faster than us.
He might actually be faster than.
We're not
even-
going to get the bends or anything, right?
I'm
we don't
assuming
have to
that's
worry
what.
about-
Yeah, I'm assuming that
I've just
speak-
decided the
this is
easiest way around
Jethro
that is water breathing prevents the bends.
That's what I was
think
trying
that's-
to say, but I forgot
Love
what
it.
the spell was.
I think that's the easiest way to handle that in game. Like if in the future, if you guys decide to go deep into the water without water breathing, we'll talk about that then.
Yeah, you
Um,
can see collective DM trauma.
Let's move you guys to your ship.
Are you sure you're not going to hurt us with this random thing?
All right.
There is there needs to be a healthy relationship between some real world phenomena and the magic and fantasy of D&D, and that relationship is one of the things that is key to a good game.
Exactly.
When you try to tip the scales too far in one direction, that's when things start to get weird and traumatic.
And should be session zero-ish kind of discussion.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like
Unless there's something really weird going on in the world kind
Yeah.
of situation.
something weird comes up. To the lesser extent, that moment of, all right, I'm going to cast Speak with Dead. I'm just going to ask right now about how this is going to work.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way.
Because like you're not gonna talk about like it. This is a water campaign. We're gonna sail a lot. The bends would come up eventually, maybe in a hilarious context, and therefore you can't really predict that would happen prior to actually playing.
Yeah.
Because nobody thinks, unless you're a scuba diver, nobody thinks about the bends. So
Never
That's a bumper sticker. That's the weirdest bumper sticker. Nobody thinks about the bends.
thinks about the bends.
going on the t-shirt list.
Anyway, we arrive.
Yeah, Jethro is going to drop you off at the surface. And one thing I will note about Jethro, by the way, is his voice has shifted and altered throughout your adventures with him. He has sounded different multiple times. And then he dives back under the ocean. And that's all I'm going to say on that topic.
Okay.
Different as in like different people were talking kind of thing, or different as in like higher pitched, lower pitched?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yes, to both of those things.
Okay.
All right. I'm sure that won't come up at all in the future.
I mean, she did weird stuff to the people that she grabbed.
We're dealing with Fey folk,
Yeah.
too.
Wolf Lauren and
Automatons
Fairlos are like, I don't know if we want to think about how these creatures were created.
Nope. Not right now, at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna climb up onto the deck. I'm gonna give myself a good shake off, and then I'm gonna go find Charles and Abelina.
They're right
Uh,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles is behind the wheel of the ship currently, just kind of relaxing, waiting for you guys to come up. Currently, and Abelina is just sitting here on the side of the ship waiting as well. You can hear her go, "They're here now." And your brother and a couple other of your crew come to haul the anchor up that they dropped after you guys dived into the water.
So, a
We're
year
back.
and a half.
Yes, yes. We went on some adventures.
I'll start with the important bit. Are the two of you okay?
I'm okay. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Do the two of them seem like actually blasé about this, or
They
are
seem
they?
significantly more relaxed because Charles has always had like a little bit of a nervous energy about him. He does seem a lot more relaxed than you recall.
Okay. But not at all bothered by the facts of the situation.
Doesn't seem like it, no.
Charles, was that?
Let me look at your passive perceptions real quick. Furlos,
Yeah.
you both notice that Abelina and Charles, Charles is a halfling, so he has slightly pointed ears. Abelina is a half elf. She also has slightly pointed ears. But the pointedness of their ears has reached elven levels at this point.
Ah, the Fae.
Elven levels of point.
Real quick,
To
'cause
see a scale of like,
how Fae are we going here?
It's that one Family Guy.
yeah, it's that meme,
it's
but
it's
with,
that
with
but
ears.
with ears. Yeah, exactly.
Do we remember, real quick, because I don't remember if this came up, when Charles asked for Abelina, did she tell anybody where she was going before she left?
You didn't get. So what happened was Charles went down there, talked to Oberon, made a deal. And this Oberon, I believe, communicated most of this to you.
Okay.
Part of the deal was Abelina, who is, you guys know her from school. Like her studies focus is the Feywild. So he was like, "I'll go down in the Feywild, but can I bring someone with me?"
Yeah.
And Oberon did whatever Oberon did,
To,
and then they both went down.
but we don't know if she told anybody ahead of time.
That you don't know.
Okay.
You know she from at least you don't know. Oberon said that she agreed and was consented to go into the Feywild along with Charles before he sent them both down.
I'm going to look over at Abelina. So, when you agreed to go to the Feywild, did you tell anybody you were going before you left?
I was teleported away before I had a chance to, but I let everyone know when I came back, literally seconds after I was teleported away. So
I'm going to look over at Charles. And when you decided to go trouncing around in the Feywild, you didn't think to take a moment and let anybody know that you were doing this?
Oberon said it would be okay.
And you still decided not to let your captain know what you were doing?
Yes.
Because there would be people who were concerned about you and would come after you.
Also, I'm so sorry, Esequa, but it was like a sort of a split moment thing where I didn't know what to do, and then I had to, figure it out. Like I figured if you teleported me away, I didn't know if you know how time is. If I didn't follow her immediately,
Right. But see, this is all leading back to Fairlos's point. If you had been able to communicate to us that you were going down there, I wouldn't have wasted the spell. I wouldn't have tried to stop you.
And your crewmates would not have been worried about where you were and if you were okay and put themselves in danger for you.
Yes.
And I'm going to make sure that I'm glancing over at Abelina too, and I'm getting both of them. And this is... Fairlos has had this anger like simmering for a while, but pushed away to deal with other things. And now that like everybody's here and everybody's safe and everything is going to be okay, she is like full height, full on glaring at the two of them.
I will, in the future, try and learn the sending spell to make things a little better in emergency situations where I can't find you and don't know where you are.
That would be good, but mostly what I want to know is that as long as you are a part of this crew, you're going to consider the safety and well-being of this crew when you make decisions like that, and whether they are concerned about you or not.
Yes, I am sorry.
Is he really sorry, or is he just saying that because I'm pissed?
I feel that.
Make an insight check.
I will.
I'm gonna
And
help.
I'm sitting there with popcorn watching this a little bit.
Right? You don't need
what
my help.
may I also try and insight to see how?
Sure, go ahead.
I got a 25.
Yeah.
I'm just glaring at him also because we're like best friends and you never want to disappoint your best friend. So I don't really have eyebrows, but my eyes are narrowed.
Give me one second to look at his bonuses.
Sure.
I'm casually entertained.
Fresh popcorn.
Yeah, it's just like it might be good berries. Doesn't matter. Just sitting there, not really doing that, but just metaphorically, I am watching this happen
Mm.
because
As far as you know, he is telling you the truth. He is he didn't think about it. He was a little impulsive, and he just didn't think that it would be a problem.
And am I getting that same sense from Abelina that the both of them are truly like, oh, whoops, we made a mistake? And not just telling me things to placate me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you get that sense for sure. Rivulet, you also get that same sense.
Well, then, I'm glad the two of you are okay and that you learned something.
what else did you learn while you were there?
Oh, so many things.
And we can find out about that once we're back on our way. You had a whole year and a half to think about it. You can wait a few more minutes. And I'm going to get the crew back into positions that we are on our way again. Because I don't want to stay here another minute before someone decides to teleport us away again.
Valid. And I will help, but I'm curious how Charles and Abelina are interacting with one another. Like, are they still a couple? Are they still, is there distance between them? What's the vibe?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
I mean, I'll say they just got scolded by their captain. Like, mom just
But
said
before
she's...
that, we had a little time, and
Oh, yeah.
are they wearing rings? Like,
But
Yeah,
what
did they get Faye married?
But what I'm saying is,
Okay, Mary.
is that where fairy comes from?
I just laid into them, and so if the two of them have grown
17.
closer or are still close, it would be natural for them in that moment to like give each other comfort as they are getting
Yeah.
scolded together. So I think that might help you in this insight.
Oh,
Cool.
17. Do you want to guidance yourself?
Sure. I have confidence in myself. I have lots of confidence in myself. 21.
21 gets that you don't, just from the brief amount of time that you've had observing them and their interactions, they're not dating anymore. They just seem like they're good friends.
Okay.
I didn't even get any time to grill him about having a girlfriend. I'm devastated.
And with that,
We're
I think we're going
devastated
to
and
end our session.
disappointed. And that
Is he going to be pining over some Fae person now?
Oh my God. You know
Like-
what? No, I'm still gonna grill him next episode.
yeah. Listen,
Yes.
and if he is, that's his own damn fault
he
because he came
deserves it.
back.
That is the end of our session. Let me go over the credits one more time. Cartography by Cze and Peku. Cartography by Cze and Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. Character tokens by Greek 46. Custom tokens by Cze and Peku Tokens. Overlays by Brian Podell of Exploding Dice. And custom world map by Frecklesketches. And our moderators, thank you to Billith and Strike Red Kite.
Woo.
Also, thank you to Idle Champions for the code. Go and get
Yay.
yourself your Electrum chest and enjoy free loot.
Who doesn't love free loot?
Free loot.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to plug before we go?
Check out the new Dungeon Master's Guide. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Heck
And-
yeah.
And my name's in it. And we worked really hard on it, and it's Chris and James did just a spectacular job, and everybody who put time and effort and energy into it, like, just did an amazing job on it. So
If
Please
they're
check it
pretty.
out.
Oh, you can't really see it.
it
but
is
I got-
it is
I got-
very
I've
pretty.
got-
Both covers
got
are
it, yeah.
very, very pretty.
Yeah, they are. Mine is over there.
The only thing that I will plug is, hey, if you liked all these Fae shenanigans and want to see me playing a character who is a Fae and likes the Fae shenanigans, so basically the exact opposite of what Fearless was doing the last couple episodes, I'm on a new stream on Fridays on the Crit Hit Chronicles channel called Shadows Over Baldur's Gate, where I'm playing a Dragonborn ranger who grew up into Feywild and is very excited about everything. And so, yeah, come see us.
I was going to say, this was originally intended to be a sort of semi-creepy Halloween adventure. And we just stretched it out over 3 sessions. I need to double check. I want to check our schedule real quick. Make sure I know what we're going to be doing next week. What is the day, the 10th? All right, so next week will be our bonus action episode.
Okay.
I'm not sure who's going to be here for that, but I will certainly be here for that. If we have nothing else, thank you to everybody. I don't have an outro, so don't die. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.